Hello and welcome to today's edition of Crafting with Mermaid Tears. Today we are going to be making a little name place holder, and much like the one a couple weeks ago, it can also be used to hold a picture in it. It's got a clip on the back here, and I just picked these up at the dollar store. So all you need is to have this, a couple of pens, some glitter, your color of choice for sea glass, some sea glass either in the same color or a different color that are very thin, and of course your glue gun. Wood color or not, or if I want to color it with one of my markers, I plan on using some thin white sea glass pieces to go along the border line of it and attach it all the way through, but I do know that there might still be places where it will be visible just because they might not be the right size or I might not get them on perfectly. So I could use a green marker because I've chosen to do my color green, pretending that that's my color, but I'm actually going to do it in just a black color. And so I grabbed one of my sparkle pens and I'm just going to quickly go over it. Now that I have colored over the light brown wood color with my black, I am going to start gluing on these thinner pieces of just white clear glass, like I said, and I'm going to use my glue gun, hopefully on low temperature, to get that working. So what I'm trying to do as I'm going over it is I'm trying to pick similar size pieces of glass for each side, just so that it doesn't look completely uneven. So I have the whole top half of the heart now covered in the white sea glass. If you want, you can go around and clear it off of the edges around here, or take your black marker after you've done that and fill it in. I'm going to be using the glitter after to go over it, so I'm not that worried about that right now. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my green sea glass, which is the color that I decided I was going to use, and I'm going to start putting it along the bottom of my base, figuring out where I would like it and how I want it to fit. I have a mixture here of different grades of sea glass. If I was doing it for a formal event, I'd probably want to try and make sure that they were all at least a grade A crafting grade, but some of mine are definitely a B grade or lower. So to glue on my base, I'm actually going to use goop. I've got the marine version here just because it acts as more of a sealant, and I was using it on a different project. I thought I had my other goops, but I don't. But this one should work anyways. The reason that I'm using goop for my base and not my hot glue gun is because I'm going to probably want to play around with my pieces a little bit, just so I can fill as much of it as I can. And if I do it with the hot glue gun, I won't be able to pick them up and move them as easily. So you can see I just gooped it and put my piece on. The thing with goop is you don't actually need a lot of it. It goes quite a ways. So I'm kind of just going to put a little bit here. And when I put my pieces down, I'm going to slide the goop with that and get the goop kind of all over the place. Just because A, goop stinks, and B, because like I said, you don't actually need too much of it. So there you go. You can see I have gooped my way to success. You could also put the same color down around the bottom, but I'm going to put a ribbon with a little charm there. So I'm going to just take my ribbon, measure out how much I need to cover around the edge, and then cut it. So there you can see I've got the white base around it, and now I can decide if I want to put a little charm, which is what I was originally going to do, or if I want to tie a bow or just leave it. I actually think I'm going to just leave it because it might get a little too fussy otherwise. And now that I have got that finished, I am going to take my Studio G glitter glue stuff here, and I'm going to just apply it nicely around the top here. Tricks that I've learned over the years is if you are unsticking glue or something that you haven't used in a while, if you poke your pin in this way, often it'll clog again quite quickly because all you're doing is pushing that hard stuff back in. So if you can take the lid off, you actually want to try and push it out that way. And then when you're applying it the next time, you won't be worrying as much about that piece coming in. So there you can see the glitter around it. I also glittered the back just because people are going to be sitting on the other side of the table. Other things that you could do would be to hang your little charm right here off of it, or to decorate this with glitter or sparkle it up somehow. So there's always different ways that you can change it for yourself. And the middle piece, of course, is chalk, so you can just use chalk to put the person's name on it or to write thank you, or you could also use a metallic pen. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's edition of Crafting with Mermaid Tears. I hope that you had fun and maybe learned something. I hope that you share your crafts with me, and I look forward to questions, comments, or feedback as always on the post below, or certainly please check out my website, which is www.mermaidtears.ca, and I hope that you have yourself an absolutely fabulous day.